Hi, I'm Pattu from FreeFinCal. Last week, if you have read FreeFinCal articles, you know that I wrote a lot about comparing the National Pension Scheme with the Unified Pension Scheme. So, I'm going to give you a summary of what I have learned and what I found. So, there are two calculators available for free. You can get the link in the description. So, the first one compares the two schemes. So, it finds out whether the NPS corpus will be enough to generate a pension equal to the initial pension given by the unified pension scheme, and then future inflation related increases in our expenses can be handled via systematic withdrawals from the NPS corpus. So that is a product comparison, so we can find out which is better. In most cases the NPS will not fare better. That is, the UPS will turn out better for most cases. That is because my current understanding is that the UPS pension will be the 50% of the average of the last 12 months basic pay, and on top of that the DA will be added. The DA rate prevailing at the time of retirement will be added. Earlier I thought that the DA rate will not be added, then there was a chance for NPS, but if the DA rate is added, then the UPS will come out trumps. Even then, I don't think one should blindly get into UPS. One should have a proper holistic consideration. Therefore, I created a second calculator based on withdrawal rates. That is, you find out what will be your projected retirement corpus, total retirement corpus, including NPS, all your other investments meant for retirement. You project it out. Then you project your future expenses, your annual expenses at the time of retirement. Then you divide the annual expenses at the time of retirement, projected annual expenses at the time of retirement, divided by the total projected corpus at the time of retirement. So annual expenses divided by total corpus, that will give you the initial withdrawal rate. And if this withdrawal rate is less than 3.5%, then you have some cushion, you have a reasonably large, you are expected to have a reasonably large retirement corpus. Then you can manage without depending on the UPS. Your dependence on the UPS is basically not there. If your withdrawal rate is 4.5% and above, then you definitely depend on the UPS a lot, and I think it will be better for you to take the UPS. If it is between 3.5 to 4.5%, you still depend on the UPS, then there is some chance for you to take this as a sign of caution and start investing more, so that you grow your retirement corpus and therefore you lower your withdrawal rate. So that those are kind of some basic thumb rules that you can have. Another way to look at the situation is to find out your expenses today. That is, your expenses today that will continue into retirement. So you don't have to take into account expenses for your children, expenses for your parents, any EMIs, etc. need not be there. All other expenses for you and your spouse that will continue into retirement, you please consider that. Let's call that E. Then you know your basic, which is B. Find out what is E by B. Expenses divided by basic. If your expenses are much more than your basic, then the chances of you investing enough for retirement in addition to NPS are going to be low. But if your expenses are much lower than your basic, which is very rare, so it can happen for some people. For example, it happens for me. If that is the case, then you have a good chance of investing more for retirement in other asset classes, that in other instruments, excuse me, than NPS. So then your reliance on the UPS will be less. So the larger your projected retirement corpus, the better you are in terms of financial independence, and you don't have to rely too much on the UPS. If your income is low, if your expenses are relatively high compared to your salary, and you are not able to invest much outside of NPS, outside the mandatory deduction, then almost always the UPS would be a good bet, because you don't have a corpus to speak of other than the NPS, and the UPS will give you a fairly good pension. But you can still consider it as a sign of caution and still continue to invest, try to invest as much as possible in other investments by curtailing your future expenses. and you may take the UPS, but at least from other investments you will have a reasonably large corpus. So this is the basic kind of pattern and thumb rules that I have learned over the past few weeks. You can read the articles that I've written and you can come to your own conclusion. Take care. Bye bye.